There's a very common belief among those who follow the automotive sector that the biggest obstacle to making electric cars cheaper is technology. Batteries, motors, chips, autonomous driving systems. It's natural to think this way. After all, these are the components that appear in headlines, at launches, and at conferences packed with journalists and enthusiasts. But there's something that rarely gets the spotlight, and that, in practice, weighs much more heavily on the consumer's wallet than any isolated technological advancement. That something is called manufacturing efficiency, and it's precisely there that the real costs of a vehicle are silently built, brick by brick, second by second, inside the factory. When a car goes through the assembly line, every minute it sits idle, waiting represents money being burned without generating anything in return. This is no exaggeration. In a conventional production line, industry studies show that between 15% and 25% of the total manufacturing time is simply lost, due to what engineers call line balancing inefficiency. This means that robots, workstations, and operators are idle, waiting for a previous step to be completed. It's like a row of dominoes where one piece falls slower than the others and blocks everything that comes after. In a factory producing hundreds of thousands of vehicles per year, this waste translates into thousands of production hours that consume energy, depreciate equipment, and pay salaries without delivering a single additional car. Besides the waiting time, there's another silent villain inside factories: rework. When a vehicle leaves a station with a problem, it needs to be removed from the line, corrected, and reintroduced into the process. This is not uncommon. Data from the automotive industry indicates that losses due to rework and quality represent between 1.5% and 3% of the total production cost of a vehicle in traditional assembly environments. For a car with a production cost between $30,000 and $40,000, we're talking about up to $1,200 being spent just to correct errors that shouldn't have happened. And worse, the more complex the assembly line, the more errors occur, the more rework there is, and the more expensive the vehicle becomes even before it leaves the factory. There is also a third factor that few consider: configuration complexity. Each variant of a vehicle, whether a different color, a distinct interior finish, or a version with more or less equipment, requires the assembly line to adapt. This means more parts changes, more checks, more inspection time, and more chances of error. A line that produces 30 different combinations of the same model does not function like a line that produces only 5. The logic is simple, but the impact on costs is enormous. Each additional combination is like adding a new level of difficulty to a game that was already difficult, and ultimately, it is the buyer who pays for the extra difficulty. The first change that transforms the Model 2's production logic lies in how the vehicle is assembled. In a traditional assembly line, the car is built linearly, like a recipe that must follow a rigid order from beginning to end. First one step, then another, and so on. If any step in this sequence is delayed, everything stops. The entire factory is held hostage by the slowest point on the line, and there is nothing the other sectors can do but wait. It's a model that has worked for decades, but it carries an immense invisible cost embedded in every vehicle that leaves the factory door. With the Model 2, this logic is broken in a rather straightforward way. The vehicle is divided into large functional modules, the main ones being the front structure, the rear, and all the electronic systems. Each of these modules is built in parallel, at separate stations simultaneously. This means that while the rear section is being assembled, the front section and the electronic components are also progressing simultaneously. No module needs to wait for another to finish before it can begin. It's as if 3 different teams were building distinct parts of a puzzle at the same time, instead of a single team assembling piece by piece in sequence. What makes this approach even smarter is the concept of decoupling between modules. Each section of the line has its own buffer, which acts as a small safety reserve. If a module is delayed for any reason, this delay is absorbed locally, without affecting the rest of production. The factory continues to operate in other sectors while the problem is resolved. Analyst benchmarks conducted at the end of 2025, already based on the automaker's next-generation platform, indicated a recovery of approximately 15% in the line's effective productivity, with the potential to reach 20% as the system is adjusted and optimized over time. This productivity gain has a direct and quite concrete effect on fixed manufacturing costs. Equipment, depreciation, electricity, facility maintenance, and operational management are costs that exist regardless of how many cars leave the factory. When productivity increases by 15%, these fixed costs are diluted across a larger number of vehicles, reducing the weight each car carries individually. In a factory producing between 250,000 and 300,000 vehicles per year, this mathematical effect alone represents savings ranging from $520 to $1,000 per vehicle, depending on the level of efficiency gain achieved and the fixed cost base considered. What happens when a factory starts producing more vehicles in the same period, without hiring more people, without buying new equipment, and without expanding its facilities? The fixed costs, which were previously divided among a smaller number of cars, are now spread across a larger number. The result is a decrease in the fixed cost attributed to each unit produced. It seems simple, and in a way it is, but the financial consequences of this mechanism are profound and often underestimated by those who only look at the final price of the vehicle without understanding what happens before it is determined. To put this into concrete numbers, consider a Model 2 factory operating at a rate of 250,000 to 300,000 vehicles per year. The fixed manufacturing costs of a compact electric vehicle, including equipment depreciation, energy, maintenance, and operational management, are conservatively estimated at between $4,000 and $6,000 per unit. When the effective productivity of the line increases by 15%, thanks to parallel modular assembly, these fixed costs fall by approximately 13% per vehicle. This represents savings of $520 to $780 per car simply from the dilution of fixed costs, without changing any suppliers, renegotiating raw materials, or altering a single technical specification of the product. If productivity gains reach the 20% target set by simulation models after system stabilization, savings from diluted fixed costs rise to between $670 and $1,000 per vehicle. But this is not the only financial effect at play. A faster, more fluid production line also reduces the time each vehicle spends in process within the factory. Less processing time means less capital tied up in unsold cars, less internal handling, less risk of damage during handling, and less need for physical space to store vehicles in production. Each of these factors generates additional savings that, individually, may seem small, but on an industrial scale become quite significant. Tesla was already operating throughout 2025 with a global vehicle inventory level of around 15 days, a number that placed it at the forefront of the industry in inventory turnover efficiency. With the flow improvements introduced in the Model 2 line, this number is expected to compress even further, freeing up capital that was previously tied up waiting for cars to reach their final destination. Conservative industry studies estimate that additional flow gains of this nature contribute an extra $200 to $400 per vehicle in economic benefit when considering the costs of loading, internal logistics, and storage friction that cease to exist. There's a problem that grows almost invisibly within any automotive factory as a vehicle's portfolio of options expands. It doesn't appear in any financial report with a specific name, it doesn't have a dedicated line in the budget, and it's rarely mentioned in investor presentations. But it's there, consuming time, generating errors, and increasing the cost of every vehicle that rolls off the line. This problem is called configuration complexity, and understanding how it works in practice is essential to understanding why the strategy adopted for the Model 2 goes far beyond a simple design choice. Imagine an assembly line that needs to handle 5 different paint colors, 3 interior trim options, and 2 powertrain versions. At first glance, it seems like there are 10 options available, but in practice, the number of valid combinations the line needs to be able to produce, inspect, and verify is 30. Each combination requires a different sequence of parts, a different configuration at the workstations, and a different set of end-of-line checks. Production studies in the automotive industry consistently show that lines with a high degree of variation lose between 10% and 20% of effective productivity because of this complexity, even when the nominal cycle time of each station remains the same on paper. In practice, what happens is that each variant change within the line generates micro-interruptions. An operator needs to find a different part, a station needs to be reconfigured, a verification system needs to check an additional parameter. Individually, each of these interruptions lasts only a few seconds, but multiplied by thousands of vehicles produced per day, over weeks and months, they accumulate into a huge volume of lost time that never generates an extra car. And along with this lost time comes a proportional increase in errors, because the more variants there are, the greater the chance of a wrong part being installed in the wrong place, generating a problem that will only be discovered at the end of the line, or, even worse, by the customer. There's a side effect of configuration complexity that rarely receives enough attention, but which impacts the cost of each vehicle in a very concrete and measurable way. When a factory needs to produce many different variants of the same model, it is forced to keep a much larger quantity of parts, subassemblies, and components available throughout the entire line. Each color, trim, or version variant requires its own specific items, and all of them need to be available at the right time, in the right place, without delay. To ensure this, the factory needs to carry a significantly larger inventory than it would if it were producing only 1 or 2 configurations. And idle inventory within a factory is not neutral. It costs money every day. This cost manifests itself in several ways simultaneously. First, there is the capital tied up in the parts themselves, awaiting use. Second, there is the physical space needed to store them, which could be used more productively. Third, there is the time spent by operators traveling longer distances along the line to retrieve parts from different locations, depending on the configuration of the vehicle being assembled at that moment. Manufacturing cost models show that simplifying the quantity of inventory items alone can reduce assembly-related handling time by 5% to 8%, which translates directly into fewer working hours per vehicle and lower work-in-process inventory carrying costs. With the Model 2, the reduction in the number of configurations available at launch significantly compresses the amount of inventory items the factory needs to manage simultaneously. Fewer variants mean fewer different part numbers, fewer storage positions on the line, fewer picking routes, and less chance of the wrong part being placed in the wrong spot. This simplifies not only the work of the operators, but also the production control systems, which now have to deal with a smaller universe of variables to track, verify, and confirm for each vehicle produced. The factory's internal logistics chain becomes shorter, more predictable, and more reliable. The direct financial impact of this simplification is estimated at between $100 and $300 per vehicle in savings generated by reduced inventory and handling complexity. This number may seem modest when compared in isolation to other gains, but it is important to remember that it builds on a base that has already been reduced by productivity gains from modular assembly and a decrease in configuration errors. Each layer of process improvement does not exist in isolation. It interacts with the previous ones, and the combined effect is greater than the simple sum of the parts, because a simpler process makes fewer errors. A process that makes fewer errors requires less rework, and a process with less rework flows faster and further dilutes fixed costs. For decades, The automotive industry operated with a fairly rigid logic. Each version of a vehicle needed to be physically different from the others. A car with more features had more parts installed. A model with fewer features left the factory literally without certain components. This meant that the assembly line needed to be able to identify, separate, and install different sets of hardware depending on which configuration was being produced at that moment. Each configuration decision made within the factory added a checkpoint, a chance of error, and a fraction of lost time that was repeated vehicle after vehicle, shift after shift, throughout the entire lifespan of the production line. The approach adopted for the Model 2 breaks with this logic in a way that has direct consequences for the pace and cost of assembly. Instead of installing different hardware depending on what the customer chose, the strategy moves towards maximum standardization of the physical hardware. The vehicle leaves the line with a uniform set of components, and functionalities are activated or deactivated by software, either at the end of the production line itself or after delivery to the customer. This eliminates an entire category of decisions from the factory that previously had to be made station by station, piece by piece, during the assembly of each vehicle. The effect of this change on the line's pace is quite concrete. Manufacturing benchmarks show that friction generated by hardware-based configuration decisions consumes between 5% and 10% of the effective assembly time, even when the nominal cycle time of each station remains unchanged. This consumption appears in the form of microstops, additional checks, and holdups at the end of the line to confirm that the vehicle has been correctly assembled according to the requested configuration. By eliminating these decisions from the physical process, the line recovers between 7% and 10% of effective speed. Not because the robots or operators start working faster, but because a series of interruptions that were previously unavoidable simply cease to exist. In a factory producing between 250,000 and 300,000 vehicles per year, this speed gain dilutes fixed manufacturing cost by a range of $280 to $600 per vehicle, using the conservative base of $4,000 to $6,000 in fixed costs per unit. Furthermore, hardware standardization significantly reduces installation errors, which were a direct consequence of needing to install different components depending on the configuration. Less physical variation means less chance of installing the wrong part, fewer corrective inspections, and fewer vehicles held at the end of the line for adjustments. This effect on quality generates an estimated additional savings of between $120 and $200 per vehicle in inspection and correction costs that simply cease to occur. When each of these transformations is observed in isolation, it is tempting to treat them as independent improvements, as if each existed in its own compartment and contributed its separate share of the economy without interacting with the others. But this interpretation misses the most important point of everything presented so far. Parallel modular assembly, configuration reduction, and software-defined manufacturing are not three parallel initiatives. They are three layers of the same system that reinforce each other. And it is precisely this interaction that makes the final result greater than the sum of its individual parts. A production line that assembles modules in parallel is already faster and more resilient. When that same line operates with a reduced number of configurations, it becomes even more stable because the stations work more predictably and errors decrease. When software-defined manufacturing eliminates hardware decisions from the line, the process becomes even simpler because the standardization of physical components removes the last layer of variability that could still cause interruptions. Each improvement enhances the previous ones, and the cumulative effect on the cost per vehicle is structural, permanent, and independent of external factors such as exchange rates, commodity prices, or government incentives. The numbers that emerge from this combination are quite impressive when placed side by side. Parallel modular assembly contributes to savings of between $1,000 and $2,700 per vehicle. Simplified configurations and inventory add another $300 to $900.